All right, man. John 5:39, man. Ain't finna play around or none of that. After that, I want you to get Proverbs, the 25th chapter. We're going to deal with that Luke 14, man, because that dude Gorilla Hebrew with what he said, that was outright asinine. And we're not coming at him because of who he is, coming at him because you blaspheme. Now, let that be known. Ain't nobody try out, because you know these niggas swear you want to get fame off a nigga. They don't preach the word for no fame. Who is you niggas? What, we rappers now, son? Yeah. He trying to get some fame. Nigga, you just blaspheme. That's bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? Search the scriptures for any of you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I'm going to go around the room with this question. 3 people will refrain. That's the 3 people who I already shared this with. They will refrain. I get louder, don't worry about it. Yeah. Proverbs 25, what is it? 21. Proverbs 25 and 21. It says, if thy enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat. And if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. For thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and Yahuwah shall reward thee. What you think that's talking about? What you think that's talking about?
I think about that. I think about Mashiach giving us bread and water when he was on the cross. And that leads to, you know what I'm saying, the condemnation of those who crucified.
What you think they're talking about?
I just think about Passover when Judas was with him. He gave him bread to eat, which is my bread of Bible.
What you think they're talking about?
Yeah, hit it right on here, what I was thinking.
Darius, what you think they're talking about? Johnny, what you think they're talking about? Jim Danny, what you think they're talking about?
He all his enemies, he keep them fed and all that stuff till he comes back and he gonna come back and kill them.
Corey, what you think they're talking about?
I think about what both Pell and Stanley said, and then it also makes me think about where it says Yah gives rain to the just and to the unjust.
Kid, what you talking about? What you think they're talking about? Why you playing on that phone?
Me. The Passover.
Not yet, Kira. What you think they're talking about? Yeah, you're talking about you.
You're not gonna be right.
No, I was talking to Kia. I got you, Kira. Just hold on. What you think they're talking about that time? It says, if your enemy be hungry, give him some bread to eat. And if he be thirsty, give him some water to drink. In doing so, you put fire on his head.
In doing so,
Definitely Judas.
Coals of fire.
I don't know, that last part was, it threw me off.
Who else in there? I can't see him.
You got D.
Corey in the way. Nah, D's have to refrain. Lee, what you think they're talking about?
I thought Lee could do
What little mother at?
She better know the kids.
Now, both of y'all came with the correct stance, but see, we just going to go that a little further, though. When this man sitting here telling you is, every year you sat down and ate this man's flesh and you drink this man's blood, and you know you ain't got it in your heart to do right, you going to hell. You know what I'm saying? And you know what that's going to be what that is? You're going to show the same level of pride and arrogance that the people who killed him show. Yeah, they're talking about Judah too, but we going past that. So let's look at something in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 about verse 22.
Weeping.
Make it 20. You have to understand something. That man saying, doing so, he said, Yah will reward thee. So that means the master is going to get a reward behind that. You know what I'm saying? It says, when you come together therefore into one place, this is not to eat the master's supper. For in eating everyone take before other his own supper, and one is hungry and another is drunken. What? Have ye not houses to eat and drink in, or despise ye the house of Elohim, and shame them that have not? What shall I say to you? Shall I praise you in this? I praise you not. So again, this is going right back to an element where we were looking at in Isaiah 58 last night. You know what I'm talking about? See, go ahead and hold this and go to Isaiah 58. Look what he's talking about. He said, you despise, though. He said, I'm not going to praise you, and you bucking those that are hungry and without. Now look at what he told you right here in Isaiah the 58th chapter. Probably just going to come back again and look at that verse 8, I believe. Verse 7 it is. Matter of fact, we even take verse 6. We done went over this before since y'all mentioned it and they said that there. I'll do it again. You know what I'm saying? I don't even see how people do it. I'll do it again. Is this not the fast that I have chosen to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, that you break every yoke? But you have to sit back and understand something. When he was telling them to eat his flesh and drink his blood, and it was again a manifestation of a fast that he had chosen. Why do we say that this is a manifestation of the fast that he had chosen? Because he told you in the 9th chapter of Luke and the 23rd verse to take up your stake daily and follow after him. You know what I'm saying? So this is showing you this is the fast that he has chosen. Because in doing so, you loose yourself from every burden and the yoke, and wickedness is removed from your heart. Now, the key thing with these dudes that try to say Isaiah 58 is not talking about the Day of Atonement is pure stupidity, because he says, is this not the fast that I have chosen? There's nowhere else in this book where you see where this man has chosen a particular day and said this is what you must do upon it. You have days in there where they fasted, but Yahuwah did not choose.
I did want to ask you about that. It said something about the fast in the 10th month.
Yeah, because in the, while they went that's in the book of Zechariah. We don't went over that in time past.
That was in captivity.
They were in captivity and they chose to do a fast. The same way that we could look in the book of Ezra and you would see them and he would tell them, we finna fast right now. But Yahuwah didn't choose that
They
fast.
did.
We know the fast that he chose. We read about it last night in the 23rd chapter. Did he not choose it? Then that's what they talk about. It's common sense. You know what I'm saying? This is stuff I be talking about. That's what I meant when I was telling y'all that earlier. Like if you sit back and you say you giving people information, then you have to have command of the information. If I feel like you don't have command of the information, I will lose confidence in you. You know what I mean? It means you don't have the skill and ability to get done. It's no different if you on any. That's why I use football. And football, right, the quarterback is the most important person in the huddle. Once the team has lost confidence in his ability to lead the team to victory, they no longer play with the same passion and fervency because we do not believe that he can get the job done. You know what I'm saying? Like Blaine Gabbert, when he was here, he probably lost the huddle third game because he sucked. You know what I'm saying? You have some people like, you look at that rookie for the Cowboys, but this man has never played the game before in his life till this season. This man coming straight out of college and is commanding a huddle full of grown men. This nigga's 22, 23 years old. This nigga's been in the league 10, 15 years, and they looking at him like, yeah, he can get us where we need to go at. Why? Because this nigga is prepared. He know what he doing. He know what he talking about. We trust him. You know what I'm saying? Once you lose that truck, well, that's over with.
Kept he come in there like, hey, I don't know if this play might work, but you could try it.
They say this here, we supposed to be running Z slot right, 65-9. And he looking at, I don't know what that play is. This nigga don't know the plays?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because the quarterback is supposed to know where everybody is supposed to go on the field. What he's supposed to know. I know everybody's blocking assignment. I know everybody's route assignment. I know your sight adjustments. And I'm supposed to be able to come to the line and look at the defense and say, hey, you need to block in instead of out. You need to take your out route and turn it to a slant so we can beat it. That nigga coming up there and he looking like a deer with his head in the headlights. It's going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? He says, is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, that thou bring the poor that are cast out of thy house, and see the naked that thou cover him, and hide not thyself from them? Now remember, he said, give your enemies bread to eat. So who are his enemies?
Sinners?
Transgressors are his enemies. You know what I'm saying? So now let's look at Deuteronomy 7 and 9 just to establish that point while we hold in 1 Corinthians 9 and 23. See, and what we're looking at is in 1 Corinthians 11, he was stating like how you do this and his people hungry. And see, we're going to tie that into something else. Because there's people that hold the word and they know that people are hungry and they're not going to give them no bread to eat. Deuteronomy 7 and 9, man. Know therefore that Yahuwah thy Elohim, he is Elohim, the faithful Elohim, which keep covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repay them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hate him. He will repay him to his face. Now this 6th man said, in doing this, he will heap coals of fire on your head. So basically the master giving you his flesh to eat and his blood to drink absolves him from all penalties. and places the penalty of. See, we just going past. See, we're not just going to be focusing on people who just, because he didn't give you no bread to eat and no water to drink if you rejected it. He talking about those that sit right there with him. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because if you ain't, how else you going to eat the bread and drink the water unless you ride with him? This ain't talking about nobody outside the house. You know what I'm saying? It's not talking about none of them. Because when you turn around and you look at a lot of them epistle letters Paul wrote, all that stuff was going on was not with sinners. They were people who was right in there. That man say, should I come in meekness or with a rod? Should I have to come around here and beat all of y'all? Or can I just come humbly and be like, you know what's going on? This is what he's talking about. All these people supposed to be Kadeshim that he writing these letters to. And these niggas living like savages. You know what I'm saying? He stated all the type of stuff that niggas had going on that was 1,000% sour. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Them niggas every year sat down and ate that bread and drank that water every single year. And in doing that, I'm dropping that right on your head because I know that you hate me. Do you not realize, just moving past Judas, do you not realize that? Matter of fact, let me show y'all something in the law. Go to Numbers 28. Let me just show you something in the law, man. I'm going to show you that this is in the law while we talking about. I know something like this ain't got nothing to do with Day of Atonement. It don't really matter. Something that I done went over in the past. I'm going to show it to you right now. 28:1. It says, Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, command the children of Yasharal, and saying to them, my offering and my bread, for my sacrifice is made by fire. For a sweet savor unto me shall you observe to offer unto me in their due season. So again, he says, my bread is my sacrifice that's made by fire. Now, just hold this as we establish something. I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to wait on that. Matter of fact, go to John chapter 6. And we're going to look at John 6:38. Then Luke chapter 22. If I'm not mistaken, about verse 42. And then Romans 12:1. We'll make it 39. No, 38 is fine. That was the wrong chapter.
You right, John 6.
Yeah, no, I was in 8. He said, for I will come down, not if I need to back it up to 32 actually. Then Yahushua said unto them, truly, truly, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from Shamahim, but my Father give you the true bread from Shamahim. For the bread of Elohim is he which come down from Shamahim and give life unto the world. Now, we just reading this here because we could go down and he say, and that bread is my flesh. So he is that bread. You understand? His actual, literal body, his flesh. You know what I'm saying? Since we mentioned that there, okay, what we talking about? He mentioned earlier was something that we hit 2 years ago. Dudes arguing about it's optional to fast today. Pure stupidity all the way around the board. You know what I'm saying? Just sat back and looked in Isaiah 58. He said, this is not the fast that I have chosen. Obviously, we know there's only one fast that he chose. Leviticus 23 outlines it. This is Day of Atonement. Well, they say afflict means to humble. Well, let's look at something, right? Moses was on the mount for 40 days and 40 nights. Ain't eat nothing, did he? The master was in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. Ain't eat or drink nothing. You see what I'm telling you? And that ties into what we looked at. And you know why they were able to go them 40 days and 40 nights? In essence, you know, what were they doing for them 40 days and 40 nights?
Praying. They were humbling themselves.
They were humbling themselves. They were praying. What was Moses doing for 40 days and 40 nights?
He was getting the law.
He was getting the word.
You live not by bread.
That's what he's sitting there telling you. He said, I suffered thee to hunger. I caused you to fast and go, because if I'm suffering you to hunger, then people say we didn't have what? No food, no water. That's what they were asking for. See, he had them fasting in the wilderness then. You know what I'm talking about? He already was working the Day of Atonement for him then. See, the reason why the niggas don't catch it, because they don't realize that firstborn lamb had been sacrificed, just like he was, and they were keeping the Day of Atonement then. They were keeping it before he gave it to them. You know what I'm saying? So you could, why do you think he would have them go hungry and thirsty like that? Because in order for you to get into this place, you got to humble yourself before you even get here. So you see the thing, and also now you got to remember this here though. He gave them bread and wine coming up out of there too, and he heaped coals of fire on all them niggas' heads who was his enemy because he swore in his wrath, you not getting in here. Do you know what I'm saying? And why weren't they getting in there? Because of their pride. Unbelief is the root of pride. That's pride. That's lifting oneself up. Why do you think he had to tell these people? Why do you think he had to tell these people, I'm not giving you this land for the uprightness of your heart? It's because of the wickedness of these nations. He said, be it unknown unto you, you a stiff-necked people. If you stiff-necked, it's because you proud. Stubborn, rebellious niggas is proud. Do you know what I'm saying? Pride is the enemy of man. See, we got a verse, hopefully I'm going to get around it in Job, but he said this man's desire is to remove pride from man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to tell you something now. Now let's go over what else I mentioned, right? Now Luke 22. Make sure I got this page in this book that's up on this table. Kira, you all right?
I'm alright.
Trey around here beating people up, y'all. Y'all pray for him.
He hungry.
You know what John said?
Yeah, he was beating people up before he was home.
Oh, yeah, home.
He said, "Look for
That's how the plan said he hungry.
22.
Same.
No, well, Trey around here swinging on everybody too. Trey ain't playing no game. Nigga said, they be trying me, mom. So I had to beat me a nigga. She said, all right, now I got to beat me one. Whooped him. 22 and 42. She whooped him. Make it 40. And when he was at the place, he said, other than pray that you enter not into temptation. That was some of y'all better be praying for that pride come up out your heart, for your heart get hard as adamant stone. And he was withdrawn from them by the stones cast and kneeled down and prayed, saying, Abba, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. And there appeared a Malachim unto him from Shamahim, strengthening him. And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was as it were great drops of blood falling to the ground. Who can remember two places in the law why this man is sweating that we done went over in time past?
Genesis.
What in Genesis? That's too general.
Oh, Genesis with Adam. The curse of Adam.
By the
Sweat of your
land
brow.
and the sweat of your brow.
That is one of them. That wasn't what I was looking for. That's correct, though. I don't even care if you women can answer it if you want to. There's another place, though.
The anointing oil that went down Aaron's. Oh, that's in Psalms.
One of the places, well, that's law too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of the places, go ahead.
I remember you was talking about what Pell said, the sweat dripping off of Aaron's beard.
But that wasn't sweat, that was anointing oil.
I was thinking about, I remember when they said about them, they had to drain the blood.
Yeah.
One of the places why he was sweating is in Leviticus 26, if I know. No, Deuteronomy 28. It said he hit you with a fever. You know what I'm saying?
It's Kirk, yeah.
That one of the curses, he got to hit you with a fever. You know what I'm talking about? And another one is in Leviticus 26 about him taking you through a furnace. You know what I'm saying? And then we line that up with Isaiah 48 with the furnace of affliction. Remember, because he said it's a sacrifice made by fire. Now this man tell you that your trial of your faith is more precious than gold. See, a lot of situations this man be trying you to get that stuff up out of you. But see, you know what some of you niggas do? It's too hot, so I'm finna go sit down. Or looks like you jump in the bathtub if some of you niggas bathe. When I say bathe, I'm talking about a regular bath and not a shower. You know what I'm talking about? Because some of you, if you done ran a bath before, that water be kind of hot and you stick your foot in there, you be like, you know what? I'm away.
Cold water in there.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what some of y'all do when that temperature get crunk up. When this man trying to crank this stuff up to get this stuff up out of you, say, you know what? That's too hot. I'm away. And you're going to go to hell on that one. You know what I'm saying? Because see, a trial is a test. Like I told you, who says you get a retest? Where you see this man give you a retest at? Well, let me rephrase that. Where do you see this man where you say he owes you a retest? Just let me rephrase it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like sit back and look at that stuff I had to deal with earlier this year. I ain't no different than anybody else. That's just gotta try you. Did he try the master? That's his own son though, right? He the whole word by him. He is the word. He tried his own son. So what make you think he ain't gonna try no? Why wouldn't he try me? That don't mean nothing. He tried Abraham, didn't it? Tried Jacob, didn't it? Tried Saul too, didn't it? Tried Solomon too, didn't it? Shoot, tried David too, didn't it? Tried Elijah. And all the people that were mentioned, matter of fact, we can sit back and look at it too. All the people that mentioned, some of them passed their trial, some of them didn't. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what them trials are for?
Prove you out.
Reprove you out, but also if there, in Psalms 139, he said, if there be any evil way in me, try my reins that it might be removed. See, sometimes it puts you in situations you can see, okay, I'm proud, I'm obstinate, or I'm rebellious, or I'm this, I'm that, I'm lustful, I'm a liar. You know what I'm saying? Okay, get that out of there then. Because you might have known it was there, you might have not known how prevalent it was though. So let me take you through this situation and let me remove it. You know what I'm saying? Now, once it get exposed to you and shown to you, now what you gonna do with that? Just gonna keep on motoring around like it ain't nothing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about for real, bro. Like this here, man. Because I got to make sure how I phrase this here, because we working. Y'all know it's something that we working on, right? And y'all know what the name of it is. And I told you what the definition of that name, of that word is. That's honor, respect, something that is admirable. You understand what I'm telling you? Now, we sit back and say, we quick to screen, I'm a man. Do you carry yourself with honor and respect to where a person would admire you? Because your Elohim carried himself with honor and respect, and therefore men admired him and went after him because of who he was and what he stood for and how he moved. You know what I'm saying? Would someone look at you and be like, I respect him, I admire him because this is a man worthy of esteem? Because that's what all esteem means, is the respect and admiration. You know what I'm saying? As men, especially men that say, I'm the sons of Yasharal, I am a descendant of this man, naturally and spiritually. When someone look at you and say that this is a man of honor and respect, and if you can't look in the mirror and make that proclamation with confidence, then you need to tighten up. You know what I'm saying? You need to sit back and look at yourself. Why would anybody look at me anything less than with honor and respect? And he ain't even talking about just keeping no laws, man. You know what I'm talking about? Talking about moving and conducting yourself like a man. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody see you, I done told y'all this before, right? You go to prison, or you go in a different hood, or you go anywhere, because I was explaining this in that Tyler like earlier this week. Man on man interaction is not the same as man on woman interaction. It's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Because a man could do certain things and a woman will look at that and be like, that was kind of weird, and I'm paying no attention. A man could do that same activity in front of another man, and that man will lose all respect and honor for this man and treat him like a hoe. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he don't respect, because you're not a man in his eyesight based off what you just did. Well, he could have did the same thing with a woman and she wouldn't have paid it no mind. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's a difference. Men don't interact the same. If you carry yourself like a man, I don't care where you go, you will be respected as one. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't care where you go. I don't care if you go to prison. I don't care if you go to another city. I don't care if you go to the projects. I don't care where you go at. If you carry yourself like a man, niggas, people, they gonna see it. Nobody say, what happened with you, boy? Chilling, my nigga. You ain't even got nobody. You ain't got to know nobody around here. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking in perk, bro. I done been in hoods where I'm not from selling crack, bro. Ain't nobody mess with me. I went to prison, ain't nobody mess with me. I wasn't walking around trying to be hard or nothing. You can tell when a nigga's not a man. You can sniff it, you can smell it, you can taste it. That nigga, what y'all ever seen, what it is? House party? Smells like vagina to me. I'm for real though. That's what they said though. Say that's what it smells like to me. And people see that there, bro. This ain't talking about walking around. It's dudes that are not hard, that are not gangsters, that are not killers, that move in and out hoods all across this country, bro. You know what I'm saying? Dudes just respect him as a man. And they know bruh's not on that type of time. But see, a man will know if I'm not a killer, I'm not going to be around here hanging out and doing what they doing. They know I'm a man, but I know if I hang with these niggas, I put myself in line for a particular activity. See, most people who don't care themselves like a man, they real proud. So they feel the need to overcompensate for the manhood. Or the lack thereof. You know what I'm talking about? See, when you turn around and you look at those people in the wilderness and you look at the people with the master and you look at some of our people in these days and times, their desire to want to be somebody is so strong that they overcompensate. You know what I'm talking about? And then that's where that pride come in at. That's why we're going to hit this Luke 14 though. Because that's pride for this young man to open his mouth and say that's talking about, I don't know what the nigga name is, so I'm going to just say Mr. Bivens. You know what I'm saying? I ain't calling that nigga no nigga ain't no father of mine.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about? To say that that's talking about him. That's pride. You don't understand how that's pride? That's the pride of you're trying to fit the organizational structure that you come from, or your teachers, or the founding teachers of the people who taught you. You trying to put them in the book to validate what you're doing.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's pride, bro. Man, y'all don't operate like that. Why am I going to tell a story about some niggas from Harlem for? Some niggas from Harlem? Nigga, my story's been altered, nigga. What did it say about the master, right? Go to Luke chapter 12. I mean, Hebrews chapter 12. My apologies. We're going to get it in Romans 12. Reason why, and then we come back to number 28. The reason why we look at it, he says, a sacrifice made by fire in its due season. Y'all not even sitting back realizing while you're afflicting your soul, you're a sacrifice made by fire in its due season. At its appointed time, correct? Mm-hmm. All right. Let's talk to me then.
Yes, sir.
Make sure that's what I want, man. Got 12 and 1. I don't want 12 and 1, though. I want 2. I want 12 and 2. Say, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the stake, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of Elohim. So that's the author, and this thing finished. I don't need to tell you about no nigga named Bibbins, no nigga named Yaquab and Ariah. I don't need to tell you about none of these niggas. This nigga literally stated. And see, you know what? And we gonna hit that too, Slim and Will, for your man with them hedges. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we gonna hit that for your man. I ain't gonna put him out there. Put that out there for your man. That's a dumb nigga itself. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen so many people run around here that just that retarded, bro. And I'm not the most intelligent man on this planet, but some of this stuff should be just general knowledge if these dudes are so skilled in this book as they claim to be. See, the issue is not that they're incorrect. The issue is the pride in which they stand on their incorrectness. That's the issue. Ain't nothing wrong with being incorrect. Okay, hey, man, we thought it was this. We found out it's not. But it's the fact that you made this claim and you didn't even take the time to diligently search the book to make sure it was correct before you said it. That's very interesting. Do you know what I'm talking about? Romans 12 and 1. John, you seen what I sent you? You seen what I just sent you?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll take you. I'll shoot. I'll tell you now. You get here in the flesh now. Yeah, just make sure I get that back.
Will do.
I'm just talking. This is so bad. I got plenty of them. I just felt like saying that. What's up, Carol? You took it off mute. 12 and 1. I thought that nigga was finna start dancing. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Elohim, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice, Kadesh, acceptable unto Elohim, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you might prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Elohim. You think pride is perfect and acceptable will of Elohim? Because we're going to look at a couple niggas who got smashed to their pride. We might look at a couple people who got lifted up after they humbled themselves. I'm telling you now, pride is the danger of man. Because pride is almost the root of everything else. Pride, quote unquote, is what most people try to say that was Satan fall war. I mean, that was Satan was made for. What he do, that's what he was made for. He was made to be an adversary. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. Listen what he said though. He said, for I say through the favor given unto me to every man that is among you, to not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly according as Elohim have dealt to every man the measure of faith. This man told you, son, you ought to not think of yourself a little higher than you think what you actually is. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's look at something in 2 Chronicles 32 since I made that statement. 2 Chronicles 32. 32, probably about verse 20. Make it about 19. So you can see what, matter of fact, make it 18 so you can see what this nigga got going on here. Well, actually, it's 17. Look what this nigga got going on. He also wrote letters to rail on Yahuwah Elohim of Yasharal and to speak against them, saying, as the gods of the nations of the other lands have not delivered their people out of my hand, so shall not the Elohim of Hezekiah deliver his people out of my hand. So, this is the king of Assyria. He talk a little greedy. Then they cried with a loud voice in the Yahudim speech unto the people of Jerusalem that were on the wall to affright them and to trouble them, that they might take the city. Now, ain't that something? That these Syrians actually knew Hebrew and said this here to scare you. So this also, and you know why this is important? Now, why would y'all think this is important? It just hit my mind with this here. Why y'all think this would be important, y'all? That you got this man who wrote letters to rail on you to your Elohim, and then when they came up on you to come at you, that they began to speak to you in your language.
Sure, dark sentences with the same tradition.
See, you know what's going to make it strong? When you look at the book of Acts, right? When Paul went to speaking in Hebrew, them people started paying a little bit closer attention to him.
So I'm talking directly.
Directly to you. So the reason what he just mentioned is when this man of sin comes, and he go to dropping this word, and because people don't speak it. So when they see him speaking that's going to engender the fear and the frightening of people to go after him. See, this nigga's on my page right now, the microchip coming, you ignorant bastard. Because they think that this mark of the beast is going to come, and then this man comes. But that's not what the book says. He's going to come first. That's why we went over that 2019 thing. Because when that don't come to pass, that will cause even more people to fall away. But they have to fall away because y'all never wanted them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a dangerous thing. Like I say, right? Dudes say stuff, it's not in line with the word. Niggas looking from FEMA camps and all this type of stuff. Because niggas on my pay, they going in. Nigga just sent me an email today, man, get all the cash you can get, the dollar gonna crash tomorrow. Who sent you that? Because you need to ask them, nigga, don't send me nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? For real though, because that's fear-mongering. That's fear-mongering. Okay, if the dollar crashed tomorrow, so what?
Y'all provide. Y'all do what it is.
I ain't worried about none of that. You know what I'm saying? But if a nigga can give you an advance warning like something like that finna happen, then 99.9% of the time, it's not gonna happen. Because when the stock market crashed in 29, no one had no warning. It just crashed. The stock market crashed in 87. It just didn't have the effect that it had in 29. Most people are not aware that the stock market crashed in 87. Where we at right now? And it says, and they spake against the Elohim of Yasharal as against the gods of the people of the earth, which were the work of the hands of men. That's pure pride caused you to do that. Why do you think he says he'll do what? He'll speak great blasphemies against the tabernacle of Elohim and all this stuff here. Because this has already been done. Ain't nothing new under the sun. And for this cause Hezekiah the king and the prophet Isaiah the son of Amos prayed and cried to Shamaim. And Yahuwah son of Malachim, which cut off all the mighty men of valor, and the leaders and captains of the camp of the king of Assyria. So he returned with the shame of face to his own land. And then when he was coming to the house of his Elohim, they that came forth of his own bowels slew them there with the sword. Thus Yahuwah saved Hezekiah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem from the hand of Sennacherib the king of Assyria, and from the hand of all other, and guided them on every side. And many brought gifts unto Yahuwah to Jerusalem, and presents to Hezekiah king of Yehuda, so that he was magnified in the sight of all nations, and from thenceforth. And in those days Hezekiah was sick to death. And he prayed unto Yahuwah, and he spake unto him, and he gave him a sign. But Hezekiah rendered not again according to the benefit done unto them, for his heart was lifted up. Therefore there was wrath upon him and upon Yehuda and Jerusalem. So you see what ended up happening? That's why he sat back and told you, don't sit back and think of yourself a little higher than you ought to think because you got some gifts. This is what Paul was talking about in Romans 12, right? See, he got a little bit of gifts, and he got a little bit of name, and get what? He thought he was somebody. He thought he was somebody. And in doing so, not only did wrath fall upon him, but it fell upon everyone around him. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're going to sit back and see something that he begins to do. Say, notwithstanding, Hezekiah humbled himself for the pride of his heart, both he and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so that the wrath of Yahuwah came not upon him in the days of Hezekiah. So you know what ended up happening before that wrath really got to be dropped on them? When he let him know, he humbled himself. He didn't sit back and be like, oh man, he humbled himself. See, it's real easy for pride to slide up in you. See, because when you get lifted up, you go to thinking you somebody. And you go to thinking you somebody. And you go to thinking you somebody. We go like your man talking about. Niggas feel like a nigga got pride because a nigga know what they know. But I don't carry myself like I'm better than you or I know more than you. Now, if you stupid, you stupid. But even without the word, I would tell a nigga he's dumb if he's dumb. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean think I'm better than you. I'm just making an assessment. Based off the information present before my face, you are confirmed to be an idiot. Is it my fault that I tell you that you're an idiot? Ain't nobody else obviously not going to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Let me be the first. When we were talking to your cousin, ain't nobody never told your cousin what I told him. And I told him, Will cousin, to preach the word. But I told him, I said, I'm going to tell you this because I know ain't nobody else going to tell you this. Because I love you, man. You stupid now, but I love you though. I love you enough to tell you this. You stupid. You know what I'm saying? Based off what you just said out of your mouth. You know what I'm telling you? I ain't going off of this because I think I'm better. Based on what you just said out your mouth, nigga, you dumb. If somebody came in here and walked in here right now and said, you know what, man, smoking crack is good for your health. What you gonna tell him? Nigga, you sound dumb. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with drinking motor oil and bleach.
God.
Let's take it to the extreme and remove the word and say you in the world. And your homeboy come and tell you, yeah, boy, I be hitting all the women raw dog, boy. You dumb. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna invest my money in a timeshare. You're dumb. But see, when it come with the word,
Dang, bro, you just killed so many people.
but anybody got any type of sense, boy, you know you ain't got no business investing your money in no timeshare because you ain't never gonna get your money back. Timeshare schemes have been exposed since the 80s, man. Am I lying though?
No.
Who does know anybody who done put their money in a timeshare and got it back?
So when you put your money in a timeshare, you're supposed to get your money back. I thought it was just like you have this space available.
Yeah, you enjoy it.
No, that's actually an investment that you hope to sell that later for a profit.
I didn't
All
know.
the ones I heard, you just buy.
Yeah.
Our definition, what we were talking about timeshare was you paying that money so whenever time that you want to go stay there, you can stay there.
Oh, no.
That's how they finesse it.
A true timeshare is you're purchasing land for the purpose of selling the land later at a profit.
Oh.
Now, yeah,
That's what a time. See, niggas used to get got in the 80s all the time. They tell you go get this great island locale, you put this money in it, you get your money back, such and such, and then they come down there and it's a swampland. Do you know what I'm saying?
I've always known them on resorts.
See, it's not resorts. When you talking about timeshares, it's talking about copping land.
I think you got to miss.
No, I ain't got it mixed up. What they calling y'all timeshares is something totally different from what it was in the 80s and 90s. They got all the time.
Orlando, they be having nice little
Timeshare. Like we'll put our money together, we'll pay. We not
A certain amount of month.
Yeah, see that ain't talking about we renting nothing out. Like you own this.
Yes, that's what timeshare is.
You know what I'm saying? And it's supposed to be that's a real estate investment. That's what that is. That's a form of real estate investing. And it's not a very good one.
I know niggas would say he sell timeshare. Nigga made $90,000 in 6 months.
But I bet you the niggas who he sold it to ain't gonna get nothing. Timeshares is almost borderline pyramid scheme. It's not there, but it's on the precipice. Because a lot of times the properties the land that you get, ain't nobody gonna build on it. Nobody wants to live there, and you just stuck with it. Like I said, man, you just do a little history research, man. Niggas in the 80s used to get got all the time. Huh? Yeah, in the 80s and 90s used to get got all the time. I'm right now, and I'm thinking about this. I'm dying laughing just because how they were looking at him. It just was an episode of Married with Children. They were clowning Al Bundy for that because he bought a timeshare in a toxic waste dump. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them were usually down here in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Most of the people, you not from that area, you don't live there. You know what I'm saying? They showing you these brochures and these pictures of how beautiful this stuff is, and then when you get there, it's not what you thought it was. And now you done dropped $50,000, $60,000 on this here, and then you stuck. You know what I'm saying? So you sit back and look at that. You buying land. What do you buy land for? But one or two things.
To sell it and live.
To live on it. So that's an investment, and a lot of people get got. You know what I'm saying? Because if a nigga came at me offering me a timeshare right now, I'm straight, bro. I'm good on that. You better off buying some properties, man. You know what I'm talking about? Than to buy a timeshare. Yeah, I ain't knew that. No, sir. Where we at now? I lost my page. Come back to number 28. So we in verse 2, right? And it says, and thou, verse 3 I should say, and thou shalt say unto them, this is the offering made by fire, which ye shall offer unto Yahuwah 2 lambs of the first year without spot, day by day, for a continual burnt offering. The one lamb shalt thou offer in the morning, and the other lamb shalt thou offer at even. At the 10th part of an ephah of flour for a meat offering mingled with the 4th part of hin of beaten oil. It is a continual burnt offering which is ordained in Mount Sinai for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto Yahuwah. And the drink offering therefore shall be a 4th pit of hin for the one lamb, and the Kadesh place shalt thou cause the strong wine to be poured unto Yahuwah for a drink offering. Now what do you think he means when he say you'll cause that that strong wine should be poured out as a drink offering?
The blood in the Mashiach
That's when his blood came pouring out, right? Now, as you can see the bread and the wine right here in the law, now can't you? Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Now this man just sit back. Now let's just look at the master doing his works. We look at it all the time, and now let's look at him doing his work. Matthew 26 to 28. And after that, Hebrews 10 to 25. Verse 8, 26 and 28. I'll make it 26. And as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. So this had absolutely nothing to do with, oh, that's only just dealing with these 12 people at this table. Because this say, if your enemy be hungry, give him bread to drink, bread to eat. And if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. Say, in doing so, you keep coals of fire on his head, and Yahuwah will reward thee. You know what I'm saying? Now we got something for Judas, but Judas wasn't his only enemy. You got to understand something. When they were keeping that same Passover in, they were cooking that lamb, and they were offering that drink. They were doing all of this. So even though they weren't sitting there eating his flesh and drinking his blood with him at that table, they were still doing it. You know what I'm saying? They were still doing it. They just didn't understand what they were doing.
Okay, I said 2 lambs.
You know what I'm saying?
Still like this body.
They still did it. They still drank his blood. They still did it. Hebrew 10 to 25.
Put the blood on our children.
10 to 26, actually. All right. 10 and 26. Hebrew 10 and 26. For if we sin willfully after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remain no more sacrifice for sins, but a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation which shall devour the adversary. If we look at we sinning willfully, what is that a symptom of?
Right.
That's pride. Because you feel like you could go do that. And the reason why they feel like they could go do that, hold this right here, right, and go look at Ezekiel 33. Ezekiel 33 and 13. When I shall say to the righteous that he shall surely live, if he trust to his own righteousness and commit iniquity, all his righteousness shall not be remembered, but for his iniquity that he hath committed, he shall die for it. Now, what do y'all think about that? See, let's look at the next thing he says. Again, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die if he turn from his sin and do that which is lawful and right, if the wicked restore the pledge and give again that he robbed, walk in the statutes of light without committing iniquity, he shall surely live, he shall not die. Ain't that funny that it says without committing iniquity, but these niggas act like that's not no way in here? Because didn't he just say without? That means he's saying this person ain't going to sin no more. None of his sins that he hath committed shall be mentioned unto him. He hath done that which is lawful and right, and he shall surely live. Yet the children of thy people say, the way of Yahuwah is not equal. But as for them, their way is not equal. When the righteous turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, he shall even die thereby. But if the wicked turn from his wickedness and do that which is lawful and right, he shall live thereby. Yet ye say, the way of Yahuwah is not equal, O house of Yasharal. I will judge you everyone after his ways. Now, what do we take? Come back to this Hebrews chapter 10. What do we take from those two scenarios that he just mentioned?
Saying that if you've been living wicked, once you decide to turn and live right, that's what you're going to be judged by, the rightness, because you're no longer in that state of sin. But even if you live majority of your life upright and perfect, but then you sin, you're not going to be judged based off of what it was you were doing before. It's about what you're doing at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm talking about it's real, a little bit more cut and dry than that.
I just think it's manifest with the children of God and the children of Satan.
You know what's actually in the end of that? Anybody got anything they want to put in there? What y'all think that's manifesting right there? It's manifesting two things. Two simple things that can encompass everything that y'all said. Pride and humility. That's it.
I have a question. So let's say you've been living right. Well, you sin before, then you go from sin, and then you go back into sin. Maybe not the same thing. Will you be accounted for all of that sin that you've done before just from that time? Because I think that it would be everything.
Well, one of the things he said, he stated in Ezekiel is that if you trust in your righteousness, which means you feel like I can go do that because I ain't been doing that. Now, the writer in Hebrews is stating that if you know better, you ain't got no excuse, because now you're moving in the pride of your heart.
My question is more so then all the sin that you've done before, you're going to be accounted for that as well.
Not if you done been immersed in repented and turned from it. Man, say he blocked that out, he don't remember it. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to sit back, he's not going to remember that if you've been forgiven. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't been forgiven, that man is going to remember that. And he's going to heap them coals of fire on your head. See, the whole purpose, right, of this man giving you his bread and his flesh to eat, like we done told you now, his bread, it was flesh to eat and his blood to drink, was for your damnation or your salvation. So he said back, I gave it to my enemies too. Not just to mine, I gave it to, because you got to understand something. That same lamb and that same blood offering that he gave him in the wilderness, all of them were partaking in that for 40 years. For 40 years. He gave it to them. Y'all don't even sit back and understand that and realize that he gave bread and water to drink to his enemies in the wilderness and killed. Let's sit back and look at it. Exodus 16. Just so you can see this here. Because the master's doing the same thing that daddy did. Before we even read Exodus 16. John chapter 5. Matter of fact, let me finish this Hebrew 10 first. Let me finish this 27. But a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation which shall devour the adversaries. He that despised Moses' Torah died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Of how much sore punishment, suppose ye, shall he be thought worthy, who have trodden under the foot of the son of Elohim, and have counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified, an unkadesh thing, and have done despite unto the ruach of favor. For we know him that have said, vengeance belong unto me, I will recompense, saith Yahuwah. And again, Yahuwah shall judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living Elohim. But you know something? Niggas ain't scared of that, though. Because if they was, they wouldn't do what they do. See, we not even, you got to understand something. For you to know someone is your enemy, they have to openly show you that they're your enemy. See, if a nigga got a problem with you, and they don't say nothing to you, that nigga's not your enemy. That's a nigga who just mad. You know what I'm saying? That's just real rap. Because if you ain't expressed to a nigga, in essence, a nigga may be your enemy, just a silent enemy. But you know what I'm saying? But to a man, nigga, you just mad. Because nigga, you got a problem with me, I would expect you come holler at me, let that be known. You know what I'm talking about?
Actions that shows that action.
And that's not that man. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking around. I'm mad with this nigga. I don't like that nigga. What? And you telling 3, 4 other niggas about it? Yeah, I don't like that nigga either, bro. What? And obviously, man, looking at it like, oh boy, if I'm nigga to the side, this nigga just told this nigga he don't like this man. He ain't even told this nigga he don't like this man. He just told another nigga he don't like this man. That nigga say he don't like him either. I think these niggas urinate sitting down. I think I'm not gonna be their friends anymore. You know what I'm saying? For real though, my nigga. What that's that though? John chapter 5 though. About 17. Make it 19. Well, 17 is cool. But Yahushua answered them, my father worked hitherto and I work. Therefore the Yahudim sought the more to kill him, because he had not only broken the Shabbat, but also said that Elohim was his Abba, making himself equal with Elohim. Then answered Yahushua and said unto them, truly, truly, I say unto you, the Son could do nothing of himself, but what he see the Father do, for what things soever he do, these also do the Son likewise. Let's look at Deuteronomy 8:1 first. So when you look at it, right, the Father suffered thee to hunger, to prove thee, to show you that a man don't live by bread alone, but every word that come out the mouth of Elohim. And if the master would turn around and telling you to do the same thing when he told you to take up your stake and follow him, that you don't live by bread alone or the desires of your flesh alone, but by the word that come out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? See, that's why he told you, say in time past you lived as the Gentiles live, right? In lasciviousness and banqueting and rioting and all this here. In times past, that's what you did. But now you afflicted yourself and you're humbling yourself because I'm suffering you to hunger now. I'm causing you to humble yourself under my word to where you deny these things now and know you no longer do this. So that you can see that you don't live by how much money you make, how many parties you go to, what type of clothes you put on, what type of wine and alcohol you drink, or none of this other stuff. You know what I'm talking about? But you live by me. This is what people don't want to do. This is why pride resonated in their heart. You got to realize something. Every epistle letter in that book, he is writing to people that profess to believe and follow this word. None of those letters were to unbelievers. That's the first thing that we need to square away and get right in our brain off the rip. None of those letters were to unbelievers. Why would I be writing letters to unbelievers? That's not even common sense. I'm going to write a letter to a nigga who don't believe nothing I'm talking about, don't even have no knowledge of it. So every letter that he's penning to people who ate that man's flesh and drunk his blood every year in its season. You understand what I'm telling you? Every year. So who he's writing to. There's no in this book where he's talking to people who don't believe in him or don't know who he is. Even when he stepped in Nineveh, they knew who Yahuwah was. Why else would the people call to fast and repent if they didn't know who he was? These people knew. We want no troubles with him. Because he the real deal. We heard about him. But you know what the word part is? We say we in this man, hear the man, live sourdough. Now where they do that at? Deuteronomy 8:1. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall you observe to do, that you may live and multiply and go and possess the land which Yahuwah sware upon unto your fathers. Thou shalt remember all the way which Yahuwah the Elohim led thee these 40 years in the wilderness to humble thee, and to prove thee, and to know what was in thine heart, whether thou would keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna, that's the bread, right? Which thou knew not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread only, but every word that proceed out of the mouth of Yahuwah doth man live. Hold on before we go any further. Job 23:12. I'm going to go around the room with this one here though. Proverbs, and one of them like that doesn't say what that's supposed to say. 23 and 12, right? Neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lips. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. You feel like that? You feel like that, Bill?
Yes, sir.
You feel like that?
Yes, sir.
You feel like that?
You talking to you?
I'm talking to Dennis. You can say that with no confidence. You feel like that, Will? You feel like that, Natalia? She pregnant. That's pregnancy time right there. He said he esteemed the words of his mouth more than his necessary food. You feel like that?
No.
You feel like that, Johnny? You feel like that, Johnny? What about you, Jim Dandy? What about you, Deidre? I can't see you though.
I go harder though.
I feel like I've been eating a little bit more than I should. My necessary
What about you, Shayla?
food.
What about you, Lil Muff? What about you, Lee? My lamb. Who else in that room? That's everybody. He said, do you esteem this man's word more than your necessary food? Because see, right now you ain't eating, right? So that means you supposed to have more respect and admiration for this man's word than what your necessary food is. Because you need food to live. Don't let a nigga fool you.
You're gonna have to sip something eventually.
Because if you don't eat, you will die. Your body will shut down. If you don't drink, your body will shut down and you will die. You know what I'm saying? But you're supposed to get to the point where you understanding that that man, he was giving you his flesh and you were supposed to esteem his flesh more than your necessary food. So he said, that's why I'm going to give it to you. Since you didn't want to esteem it when I just gave it to you that way, I'm going to give it to you literally so I can see you the hell behind it. You know what I'm telling you? Because he gave you, man, he gave you bread from heaven. And them niggas didn't appreciate that. They say all we got is this light manna, this light bread. That's what they called it.
Said it tastes like honey.
And they said it was light to them. Matter of fact, they said they loathed it.
They like less than
I mean, they were tired of that.
Yes, that means they.
I'm tired of eating this. He said, I know you tired, nigga. Wait till the end, though. Because they were hungry, did he not give them bread to eat?
What?
When they was thirsty, did he not give them water? We're going to look at it in the law then. Because Solomon making a statement. I'm going to show you that in the law, boy. He's something people to hell behind that too now. That's why I say it's bigger than just, oh, that's Judas. Oh, the people who killed him. Nigga, screw the people who killed him. Nigga, you talking about y'all. Us. We.
Yeah. We murmuring while he feeding them.
That's what I'm
You
talking about.
wasn't getting nothing at first. Now you getting something, and you still ain't satisfied.
And you still ain't happy. That's why I say it's bigger than that there. We talking about us, we, everybody. Not no sinners off in the cut. Because some of his biggest enemies is right. The man say a man's foes will be who?
Those are the songs.
Oh, okay, play with it. Play with it. So you think his foes ain't going to be the people who sit there eating his flesh and drinking his blood? Nigga, screw Judas. Nigga, Judas was scarred from the start. That nigga walk around playing with toys and he was little. Somebody told him, I'm going to kill you, nigga. You're going to hell. What is that? He just keep on playing. It is funny. Screw that nigga.
Scary, bro. It's just scary. Bro, I feel like white people be having dreams like that.
I mean,
They do have dreams like that. Some niggas have dreams like that.
When Taylor
That's what
told
make it
us,
crazy like that, bro. You a kid, like you had a dream of hellfire, bro. You be hearing voices.
You going to hell? I'm gonna tell you something. I used to have dreams about death, but they were dreams that scared me about death.
not that I'm going to hell.
Just to that.
But I remember me.
How do you live your life?
You remember when Taylor told us?
Live it up.
say that when they go crazy.
Crazy.
He sat right there and Taylor told us that mess. World star for Taylor.
Oh yeah, white boy, white.
Yes.
He died.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
got him a world star, right?
Yeah.
He gonna be a star.
Dang.
He gonna be a star. Come on to Exodus 16 though. Let's see if he gave you get bread to eat. I want to see if he gave you bread to eat.
Oh, about that. That nigga did, dang.
Every night.
I'm going to hell. Well, if you already know you're going there, I'm gonna do my thing. I promise to you. If that man came and told me 5 minutes from now, boy, you going there, I bet I'd get up and dip. I'm finna go have me some fun there. Screw it. You know what I'm talking
But
about?
that's how they do. That's what I'm saying.
Boy, I tell niggas all the time, right? If you're gonna be sinning, you might as well just go ahead, put the book down, and get off. Because if you going to hell anyway, you might as well go to hell having fun.
Like you stamp. Like
Don't you be sitting here and playing with this? You might as well go on out there.
Shoot, what I'm gonna sit around?
I'm sit around playing with this for.
Is that the first time I ever said that?
No.
You got people who sit back, they hear the word, they still fornicate, they proud, they stubborn, they lying, doing all type of stuff.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna go to hell anyway,
If he tell you you going to hell, please don't put this up. You might as well.
I ain't gonna sit there and be like, I'm gonna keep on reading.
Keep
Y'all
on
gonna,
flying.
nigga, you done, nigga. I'm finna go live it up. Let me tell you something, right? One of the first inclinations where you know a nigga's reprobate, man, is that when stuff that they know wrong, it don't bother them. You know what I'm saying? I ain't to see, but that's those that know.
Like no.
Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Or you do things that you know are not correct, and you still keep on going, and you think because you getting certain things that you like, or you want, that he's still riding with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't knowingly buck the man and just think that he just cool with that. Because that's pride that you think that that man owes you repentance.
And like you said, you never know when that last when you got that last chance.
All you gotta do is look at Saul, man. Saul in his pride did the things that he did. And then he was like, oh, pray to you who will forgive me. Man, Samuel, like, shoot, that bridge, they're burnt.
Now you said you don't never know when your bridge gonna be burnt. So don't play with it.
That bridge is burnt. Because you might only had that one time. People don't sit back and realize that, man, that pride is horrible. Say what you want now. Exodus 16, man, about verse 1, man. Matter of fact, get straight to the point, man. Verse 2, man. And the whole congregation of the children of Yasharal murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Yasharal said unto them, would to Elohim we had died by the hand of Yahuwah in the land of Mishraim, when we sat by the flesh pots, and we did eat bread to the full, for you have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. You see what ended up happening? See, this is why people don't make it, right? He said, you brought us out here, we were full. We were full. But you didn't want to release and let go what you had. 1 John 2 and 15. Hold this Exodus 18. See, this is what happened to him now. This is what happened to a lot of people. See, you full of yourself. So y'all trying to get you to release what you got so he can fill you with him. You don't want to let that go. See, there's two types of pride. One type of pride is you don't know the word, you hear the word, and you refuse to obey it. The second type of pride is you know the word, but you front like you walking it, and you really not. And then when somebody tell you about something that you doing that's outside of it, you catch wreck.
That's all. That's all. I think about how he knew it wasn't supposed to be no witches in the land. He done fronted and put them out. But you got this little witch on the side, you gonna go holler at.
You want to go holler at her?
Like you don't know that's wrong.
Got the witch like, hold up, boy. I can't do that. You trying to get me murked. Then when he said, oh, you try, but you know what it was? I don't care about what this man law say. I want what I want.
And I want it.
And then when Samuel hit that nigga who proved him, come on now, bro.
And you know, we had went through that. You know, remember what Samuel told him? What you bothering me for?
No, but let me sleep.
What you bothering me for, nigga? I was chilling, bro. Nigga, you know you going to hell. Nigga, I already told you this.
So you want me to come tell you? Why you want me to repeat myself? Like,
Seriously though, I already told you going to hell, Cole. What you bothering me for?
you seeking to live amongst the dead?
And even that there, nigga, I already told you going to hell. What you bothering me for? Boy, he had to tell Samuel, man, stop weeping for this nigga and go do what I told you to go do. Nigga, that nigga's done. What you crying for this nigga for? That's what he told him. What is you crying for him for? I done cut this nigga off, man. Let that nigga eat dookie and die. All right. You know what I'm saying? It's like this here, right? It could be somebody, boy, if I know y'all done eat, you could see, you can tell when he done with somebody. See, a lot of people like, how you gonna say somebody cut? All you gotta do is just watch and pay attention. If you know the word, you can tell when he done with somebody. Because Saul thought he was still straight. And what was Saul doing like most people do? Running around for somebody to give me a word to make me feel better. No, man, you're done, nigga. That man gave you this situation to do this, you fail. He gave you another situation to do this, you fail. So I'm going to give you one more shot, my nigga. Go murder all these Amalekites, boy. Might forgive all of that. And what did you do? When he made the first error, he said, it repented me that I even made him king. So he was like, I want to change my mind about this. And guess what? He ate bread and he drank wine like everybody else did. You don't think he partook in no Passover? That's ugly as sin right there, ain't it, boy? That's ugly. See, that's what we used to say about people like, oh, that nigga ugly as sin. So you would even already know that sin is not very attractive. You know what I'm saying?
Worst thing to get compared to.
What? Nigga say, well, that nigga ugly as sin. That nigga ugly as death.
Yeah.
Eternal death. Yeah, we used to like to say, well, we know, I ain't know nothing about no word that nigga like that, boy, that nigga ugly as sin. He like, show there too, boy. Oh, we used to go hard on our block. He didn't go hard. Now I'm thinking about this side. Like I say, one of the classics, because somebody put them gangster box up there that nigga had. That nigga inside of his bubble was yellow. That nigga said that nigga shoes got plaque. That nigga need to brush his teeth. That nigga's a fool. And it would make it funny when the nigga said, because you don't know that. And then everybody glance down and look at his kid. Oh, man. That's why that was a killer, because of the setup. You hear the joke, but you ain't seen the shoe. Then you look at the shoe. Perfect. That's comedy right there. You know what I'm saying? That's comedy. What? Nigga, but how the inside of the bubble get yellow though? Y'all know what gangsta box is, right? You know what gangsta box is, huh? How you niggas from Duval County, you don't know what a gangsta? Yeah.
Well, I ain't know the nickname.
Yeah, we ain't calling no Soldier Reed.
No, okay.
Gangsters, man. Yeah, you know they got a little bubble on the Reebok sign. How the inside part that's white that say Reebok get yellow? How that happen? 1 John 2:15, man. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in it. See, that's what happened to Saul. See, Saul loved all the stuff that he saw. See, what happens to us when like this here, and that's what we read about in Exodus 16. See, they loved the world and the things that were in it. So we had flesh pots and we had this, and it was that pride. See, anything that you love, you can send a little energy to. You know what I'm saying? Which means you're cleaving to it, you're holding to it. You know what I'm saying? And you can hold on to things too hard, and then pride well up when it's an opportunity that you might have to lose it. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't like to lose things that you love, or things that you like, or things that you care about. You don't necessarily want to lose those things. But in the loss of those things, what Yahuwah was showing them in the wilderness, and even the Master was showing us in the wilderness, which really was more inwardly things that you would have to lose, that the loss of these things are for your benefit and profit and gain, that you might gain me. See, this is why Paul say, I count all things as loss. I count it but dung, that I might win a Mashiach. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't sit back and look at that because our pride wants us to hold on because we feel like I can keep this and get him. But you could keep this, but you're probably going to lose him. But to gain him, you're going to have to lose this. And it could be a multitude of things. It doesn't necessarily people or places or things. You know what I'm saying? It could be any of those things. It could be thought processes. It could be ways. It could be doing. It could be numerous different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you might have to let that go.
There don't have to be no sin.
There don't have to be no sin. But the thing that you hold into, that you love, that in your pride you don't want to release, could end up leading you to commit sin. So I told you, man, anything that don't bring you to Yahuwah is going to take you away from him. And it doesn't have to be sin to do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't got to be no sin. See, people sit back and look at it, as long as I'm not committing sin, I'm good. But you have to look at it as what you're doing, who you're with, where you're going, how you're thinking. Is it bringing you to Yahuwah, or is it taking you away from him? Or are you just on a treadmill going nowhere fast? You know what I'm saying? You have to really look at that. People like to sit back and just make it cut and dry.
Use that one.
You know what I'm saying? People just think, oh, I ain't sinning, I'm straight. But your mind ain't right, though. But your inwards ain't right, though. So even though you may not be sinning, you still gonna go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Because that pride in itself is not a sin. It's the things that you do out of the pride. But see, what makes it bad is the pride of itself causes Yahuwah to resist you. So therefore, he can't come to you. And you can't be one with him. See, you know, a lot of people are just content on hearing the word. And they feel like they're straight. You know what I'm saying? When it's the eternalizing of it and actually literally becoming it is what has to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to lay it up. Lay it up. It's got to be laid up. If it's laid up in you, it causes a change. How else would it not cause a change when the word or the thoughts? Remember we looked at that and then the Leviticus 24 when it said we're going to sit back to the thoughts of Yahuwah, and it was literally what the mind of Yahuwah was, and it was his thoughts. In Hebrew that word meant his thoughts. Well, this word is his mind or his thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So if you lay that up in your heart, then guess what? His thoughts become your thoughts. Remember he said, my thoughts are not like your thoughts, and my ways are not like your ways. So then guess what? To get your thoughts like his thoughts, he told you lay my word up in your heart. To get your ways like my ways, walk in them. And now my thoughts are now your thoughts, and my ways are now your way. Because he's just like he said, my thoughts are higher than yours. But now if you got his thoughts and his ways, then you on high with him. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. Please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign.
Don't look like we're going to be able to pound that. There we go.
There's one.
All right.
Please announce yourself.
You have to think about that. You know, I mentioned that before, though, right? You make this man word, his thoughts, your thoughts, you become him. That's why there's no other Elohim out here that anyone should think. You can't become Allah. Allah has not given you an ability to become him. Buddha has not given you the ability to become him. You know what I'm saying? Krishna, Zoroaster, Mithras, Hercules, Thor, any one of them you come up with. Zeus, you can't become them. Even Christians tell you, be like Jesus, but then tell you that you can't be like Jesus. In the same breath. But Yahushua never told you that you couldn't be like him. Matter of fact, he implored you to become him. He said, it's my desire for you to become me. This is what I came for. To make you sons of Elohim. To make you like me. No other quote unquote God in heaven and earth can make that claim. Therefore, that shows you that Yahuwah is the true and living Elohim. That's the proof.
There's not one covering chair, there's two covering chairs.
See what I'm saying? That's the proof. That's the proof. That's the proof. You know what I'm saying? So you have to sit back and look at that. And what causes us to have the pride of the word not coming in? Because we love the world and the things in it. The next thing he say, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world pass away and the lust thereof, but he that do the will of Elohim abide forever. So that pride is of the world. That's not from on high. That's what they were showing. That's why the man, I said, I'm going to give you some bread, you proud bastard. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to tell you something, right? We done discussed it before, like, you know, like, it's a lot of dudes, like, over, as time go on, it's a lot of dudes, like, it's a lot, y'all probably wouldn't have thought that that man would have said that about that fasting 2-3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of stuff, a lot of dudes, as time go on, they end up saying stuff, and you be shocked, like, I can't believe that nigga just said that. Because you hold them to be a lot more knowledgeable than that. But then you have to sit back and look at, if a nigga's willing to publicly say, I'm going to cut a corner here, then where else would he cut one at? Do you know what I'm saying? See, my whole thing a long time ago, what I told you what bothered me was the compromising with David and the master. You don't compromise that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at something right. It's good to keep peace. So you know what I do to keep peace? I'm just not gonna talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I feel like it's not gonna be no peace in this discussion or debate, then I'll just cut it short. You got it, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. I'm not finna go back and forth with you. You got it, bro. Stick with what you're rolling with. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm not gonna compromise what I'm on. Just like I seen you talking to the people, they going back there, they were arguing, like I was telling y'all that night, they arguing about pants. And they arguing about nobody wore pants back then. Who told you that? Because these people trot out all this stuff, like they take those priestly garments, those priestly robes, because they were the only ones that were wearing that. And they say that all of us were wearing that. But when you look at them robes, those were for the priests. That was not for the people. The people were not walking around with what them niggas in New York City got on. Because they call themselves priests, so they making priestly garments, that's why they got them on. Because the framework, you may not like how they make theirs, but the framework of what they're making is based off what's written in the book. You know, some of them, they're not good looking, some of them are. Some of them niggas literally do look like Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, or any type of cartoon character you want to come up with. But you know what's crazy? Where these niggas be cutting themselves at? When these niggas make Hebrew garments, bro, they make pants for these men. And you're saying that these are culturally correct garments, but yet we wore robes.
They be knowing.
When they, come on, man.
Didn't he say breach?
Let's say breeches.
Breeches.
But that's referring to an undergarment for the priest, so they say that's not referring to pants. But if I got some drawers that extend to my thighs, then you know they had pants on, clown. You think this man would walk around with a robe on with just bare drawers? That's some Roman stuff, man.
Like them Scottish people with them kilts.
Like because I'm telling you, I done told y'all this before. Every Hebrew that make Hebrew garments, they say that their garments are culturally correct. Why they don't never make no pants for women?
They know.
They know, man. They be knowing. But don't nobody want to see what it is, and I'm just mentioning this here because I just seen this here. The reason why it be an issue is how the dudes be coming at the women about it.
Saying you evil.
You evil, wicked woman with your pants on. So I even do all that there. Hey, I don't believe a woman should wear pants. Well, I don't believe that. Like, oh, that means warrior garments. Yeah, Yahuwah got warrior garments for. Why would a woman put on warrior garments? Why would she do that? That's retarded. And then you going through that. It means warrior garments. Well, warrior garments then, nigga. That's what you do. See, there's some things like I didn't even respond or get in that conversation. Or they be like, oh, like they make the women think, a lot of brews make the women think that they got to have their head covered 24/7, 365. That's not what it says. You know what I'm saying? It says when you're praying or prophesying, you need to have a cover. Now, if you're the woman that want to pray all day, every day, then I would suggest you have your head covered then. Because obviously you wouldn't be able to pray without ceasing if that's the case. But you not in error. You not in sin because you ain't never looked and seen me look at none of y'all and be like, so your head's not covered. You have just committed a sin. No.
That's the kind of moves we doing.
But if you go to pray, and I'm like this here like, shoot, man, what you thinking? And then some of y'all, some of the women, they know they ain't been prepared. We improvise. Somebody grab a t-shirt. Here, take my hat. You know what I'm talking about? Here's a blanket. Whatever's needed. You know, just be prepared though. You know, you should have one with you if you feel like you're going to wear your hair down or wear your hair out that day. You should still have one on deck with you. So you can be prepared. Because you don't never know when you're going to want, you don't want to be out in public and then the urge hits you to pray and then you can't even pray because you ain't got nothing to cover your head with.
I always say you eat every day and you pray over every meal, so you
Some
don't
need to be there. Everybody don't do that though. Everybody wasn't raised to do that.
Yeah, but that's going past being ready to do it. Now you're in the word, so you would think that you would want to give thanks to Yahuwah every chance you get. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if some of y'all sleep with your head covered when you sleep. I don't know if y'all got your old ratchet bonnet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm right, baby.
But I know y'all get up. You should at least have it near you so you can be ready. I'm just telling y'all this on the prayer aspect because I don't want y'all to be like, dang, I can't pray with her. Just be Rick. I ain't telling you. I know sometimes, hey man, you want your head to be seen. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at you. I'm just saying you just to be prepared so you can pray as situation dictates. You know what I'm saying? But no, you're not sinning if you got your head uncovered. Don't let nobody tell you that. Come on back over here to Exodus 16. 16. Reading about the manna. They sat back and say, man, he gonna kill us with hunger out here. So if they were hungry, then guess what that mean? They were fasting then. I don't know who this is. Yes.
Yes, Joseph Walker.
Yes, sir.
Are you Joseph Walker?
No, I am not.
What?
That nigga Joseph sound like he owes some money.
Yeah, right.
Joseph want more than money. That nigga Joseph wants some time.
Joseph old son, then that nigga coming to collect. So don't let him collect your bum though. They say, then said Yahuwah unto Moses, behold, this is verse 4, I will rain bread from Shamahim for you. And the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. So the math, you got to understand something. This man gave you his body to prove you, to see if you were going to do what I told you to do. That makes that verse in Proverbs 25 look totally, because on the natural level, that's turn the other cheek. Your enemy hungry, get him something to eat. He thirsty, get him something to drink. Y'all reward you for it. You know what I'm saying? Jacob did it. Esau was his enemy. He didn't do that to his brother. He said, shoot, boy, we got something around here. Come on here and get it. He did it with Laban. Come on around here, boy. We got something for you. You know what I'm talking about? Whew. But now we look at it on another level. That man, because guess what? Were these his enemies? He giving them bread to eat, though. He said, I got to prove and see if they're going to do what I say or not. Mm-hmm. Let's see what these niggas do. And Moses and Aaron said unto the children of Yasharai, not even you shall know that Yahuwah have brought you out from the land of Mizraim. So guess what? Hold it, stop it, kill it. Matthew 26, right? When did he eat that bread? When did they eat it?
Even.
At even, right? When he was on the stake, what he made happen?
Made it go even.
So now you know that I'm the one that brought you out of Mizraim. I gave you the bread to eat now. Because he already took, remember now, the apostles the one sat down and ate the bread with him, right? Mm-hmm. But we read John chapter 6 for a reason, because he was telling all of the people. Was he not talking to everybody? Mm-hmm. That my bread is for you to eat. And when you eat the bread, then you're going to know that I brought you out of bondage. Romans 6 and 17. That's hardcore right there. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of brood going to hell here. Ooh, that's ugly. I just don't want it to happen to you. Or make it 19. That means got to get that leaf. See, that leaven in your heart, that's that pride. Got to get that stuff up out of there. I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmity of your flesh, for you have yielded your members servants to uncleanness and into iniquity unto iniquity. Even so now yield your members servants to righteousness unto Kadesh. For when you were the servants of sin, you were free from righteousness. But they were servants in Rahab. See, I got something for that, but I'm going to get it today because I'm going to separate this from the Luke 14. I'm going to separate it. But Rahab was another speaking for Egypt. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
You're talking about D-Dan and Seba's dad?
No. That's not an individual. It's just like a name. It's mentioned in 3 places. It's mentioned in Psalms. It's mentioned in Isaiah.
Is that Rama?
No, Rahab. Like the whore. Yeah. And in that instance, that's the word. Remember we were talking about that strike through the proud in Job 26 and 12? That was the word for proud there, and there's another name for Egypt. And Psalms 87 and Psalms 89 and Isaiah 51 shows that word being used. That was a, what's the word we use? A nickname, so to speak, for Misraim, for Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So only 3 places where it's mentioned like that. Where Egypt is called that and it's not called Egypt. You know what I'm talking about? But you were servants of sin there. You were free from righteousness there. You were servants of pride and you were free from humility. You understand what I'm telling you? He's bringing you out of there to make you, humble you down to get this pride up out of you. But what happened was when he was giving them all of these things, the pride remained. Therefore, he had to make a drastic measure. And that measure was to kill him. What fruit had you in those things whereof you are now ashamed? For the end of those things is death. But now being made free from sin and become servants to Elohim, you have your fruit unto Kadesh and the end everlasting life. For the wages of sin is death. But the gift of Elohim is eternal life through Yahushua HaMashiach, our master. When he rained down that manna, that was symbolic of him giving them eternal life. Because he said the wages of sin is death, right? Well, they worked in Egypt for death. The people were killing us. They were laboring and the payment that they were getting there was death. And he gave them the gift of life through the blood of a lamb. And then through the process of that blood of that lamb, he was bringing them out. And he was trying to humble them and give them the things to prove them to whether to see that the word was in their heart or not. Don't you not realize in order for you to become a son, all pride has to be removed from you? This is what chastisement and rebuke is for. He was chastising them in the wilderness. We didn't read that in Deuteronomy 8 and 5, but he says, as a man chastened his son, so Yahuwah chastened thee. We didn't want that chastening. You afflicting your soul at this very moment is the chastening of Yahuwah upon you, to remove all pride and all things that offend from your mortal body. So if this is your first year doing it, then we could understand. If it's your second year, it should be a little things gone. Third year, should be quite a few things gone. Fourth year, it should almost be there. Year 5 and stuff it, you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you done did this 5 years and you still got pride in you, you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? That is not good. Because you should have already been able to catch that concept of what you fasting for. You sit back and you look at David. David knew he was dead wrong what he did with Bathsheba, but he went and fasted to Yahuwah in hopes that he might hear him. This is after he shown godly sorrow, after it had been showed to him, nigga, you ought to die. So in the midst of his godly sorrow and his godly repentance, of which he never went back and did anything like that ever again, he went and said, I will afflict my soul to Yahuwah, that in hopes that he might hear me. Because I've already humbled myself by correcting myself. Now I will humble myself again in hopes that you will receive me. He said, I'll receive you on the first one, not on the second. And you know what David said? Yahuwah be righteous. That was the pretty much the sentiments of his statement. Because he didn't say that outright. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people, they don't look at Yahuwah being righteous when they don't get what they want. You know what I'm saying? Whether I get what I want or not, Yahuwah is just and righteous and good altogether. Don't matter. You know what I'm saying? We don't look at it that way because I ain't got what I wanted. It's just like what I was talking about last night, right? And I can just look at that from just personal experience also. And in many different fashions and many different relationship situations, not necessarily with no man and no woman. People want you to be how they want you to be. And when you don't become how they want you to be, I'm not talking about elevating your game. I'm not talking about rising to the occasion. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about somebody coming and fundamentally wanting you to change things about your personality. You know what I'm saying? Because your character is representative of who you are and what you stand for. You know what I'm talking about? And character always has to be amended. But your personality is what fundamentally makes you yourself. You know what I'm saying? And people won't love you unless you're like this. Or I want you like this. Or I want you like this. And that's how we do Yahuwah. That's how we do Yahushua. I want him like this. And that's what they were doing in the wilderness. Be like how Pharaoh was. And we'll ride with you then. Because see, you're not doing us like Pharaoh did. And then you sit back and look at Pharaoh treated you less than doodle. He treated you less than human refuse. And this is what you cleave to. See, this is something we used to talk about when we was in the street a long time ago. It seems like black people like for people to treat them like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that treat them well, they don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Then on the flip side, black people don't like, and this ain't just emblematic of all black people, or all just black people.
Mm-hmm.
Black people don't like someone who forces them to elevate their game.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're acting like a little girl and I need you to become a grown woman and I'm going to push you and prod you and move you to elevate to be a grown woman, don't like it. You know what I'm saying? If I need you to become a grown man and I push you and prod you and for you to become a man, you don't like it. So then you know what we end up doing? We end up saying that those people are treating us badly or speaking to us badly or belittling me and this, that, there, and the third. When in actuality, that is that individual's pride because they don't want to mature and release the things that are hindering their growth and maturation that they become a full man or a full woman. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what that is. Because you know when someone's belittling you and then you know when someone is prodding you and pushing you to become your full potential and to be that what you ought to be. So what do we end up cleaving to? People who will be cool with you staying at the status quo. Like it's like this here, right? If all us hustling, I'm talking about legal, just doing business, all us doing business together. Everybody has their own businesses, but there's certain things, we get money together. And somebody like, hey boy, your productivity is pretty low, man, on this end, man. You know what I'm saying? It's messing up the projected numbers. And you come in and you see, man, what's the problem, sir? I'm just stating that there's an issue right now, and we need you to do this like this here, and here. Not only this, see, it's a difference here, right?
Becomes a problem.
Before, see, let me clarify what I'm saying. See, when you come with somebody and you just say you're an idiot, you're doing this wrong, and then you walk off, that is not productive. But when you say, hey, man, you're messing up. Here's how you can fix it. You know what I'm talking about? And you resist that. That's pride. You know what I'm saying? Let me clarify that what I'm talking about. If you give them the solution which could cause the elevation or fixing of the issue, then that's where the pride comes in. You know what I'm saying? You come like, hey man, you can fix that car like this. Now I'm talking about this, you know what you're doing. Because y'all know, you don't come tell me how to fix nothing. I'm telling you, nigga, I don't know how to do it. You can do it. I pay you for it too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it. You ain't finna catch me up under no hood. For what? Sheila asks every time, have you popped your hood open yet? No. What? Me popping it open, what I'm going to do to it? What I'm going to just look, that's a nice looking battery.
Maybe once you see the bat, hey, I've got some corrosion on it. I'll pour some coke on there.
You gotta jump a Prado.
Maybe. No, I do. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm going to be looking at stuff and I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm talking about past the battery though. Like I don't know what I'm looking at. So it doesn't even make any sense for me to even look at it. So you know what would be wiser for me to do? Or find someone who has that skill level to do it. Now if I did it and you do it and you say, hey, you're fixing that car wrong. What do you mean? Let me show you. Okay, bet. You know what I'm saying? Just like some of y'all done probably looked at somebody and be like, they are really messing that macaroni and cheese up. Should I say something? They might try to serve me that. How do I kindly turn this plate down? You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all done sat back like this and walked to somebody and was like, I don't know what that smell is. Oh, man, I'm cooking some beef stew. That's beef.
Oh my God.
It smells like death. All of a sudden, you hungry, baby? No, ma'am, I'm not.
Thank you.
I ate before I came. Nigga ate all day. He was good and hungry too. You know what I'm talking about? But
get some air.
Brother is just being serious though. You know, that's the way to come at somebody. It's the pushing. You push them, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to be great. So therefore they don't want anybody to push them to be great. Some people have ran across somebody that motivates them to be greater. Some people appreciate those people. Some people reject those people. Yahushua came to push you to become great. And the people rejected him. Because they didn't want to be great. And it was their pride is why they did it. You know what I'm saying? Pride is a very dangerous thing now. You want nothing to do with it. I'm just trying to tell you something real now. Now you see what the niggas did, right? Now let's look at number 21, see if he gave him some water to drink. 21 and 4. And they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom, and the soul of the people were much discouraged because of the way. And the people spake against Elohim and against Moses, wherefore have you brought us out of Mizraim to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, there is no water. Is there any water? And our soul loathed this light bread. And Yahuwah sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Yasharal died. You see what it is? I gave you bread to drink. Bread to eat, water to drink. So therefore, fiery serpent, that means they were on fire. Mm-hmm. Let's make sure though. Fiery serpent too. These things here hot. They burn when they bite. Mm-hmm. They burn. Say, you burning, boy. Say, you better go see them people.
That's the herbs for that.
You better go get something. And basically what this one here is, right, it's Seraph, and it's a poisonous serpent, fiery from the burning effect of poison. So what made him fiery on fire was the poison that he was dropping, right? So let's look at something, right? You above your father the devil, right? Mm-hmm. And the lust of your father ye will do. Eve got bit by the serpent. What happened to her? She died. So when we look at the poison is sin. It's death because of your sin, because they did blaspheme. Say, we ain't got no bread, no water. I done gave you all of this stuff. Hold on. Wrong verse. When we look at these coals of fire, it's literally hot coals, meaning a glow or kindle or an ember, a burning coal. And if he just sat back and say, all the people that got bit by the fiery serpent, what happened to them? They died, right? Mm-hmm. And why did they die? Because of their pride. To speak against Yahuwah, that's pride. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else happened though. I think we need to back up a chapter. Take it with 20 that I wanted. It is 20.
I brought you in this word, I'll take you out.
Look at 20 though. 20 what I wanted. 20 and 7. Well, look at it. 20 and 1. Then came the children of Yasharal, even the whole congregation in the desert of Sin, in the first month. And the people abode in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there. For there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And the people chose with Moses and spake, saying, would Elohim that we would have died when our brethren died before Yahuwah? Why have you brought up the congregation of Yahuwah into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? So we dropped to verse 8. Take the rod and gather thou the assembly together, thou, Aaron, thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water. And thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock, so thou shalt give the congregation their beast drink. Moses took the rod from before Yahuwah as he commanded him. And Moses gathered the congregation together before the rock, and he said unto them, hear now, ye rebels, you enemies. Must we fetch ye water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand with his rod, he smote the rock twice, and water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. So they were steady complaining, we ain't got no bread, no water, and he gave it to them. And he gave it to his enemies too, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Now let's turn around and let's look at, dang, I was just in my head too. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 1. Probably Troy. Yeah, that's Troy. Take Kia home. Grandma said that nigga better be home by 3:30, nigga.
God, super early.
It says, moreover, brethren, I would not that you be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea. And all were immersed under Moses in the cloud and in the sea. And did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they that drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Mashiach. But with many of them Elohim was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and to drink, and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 320,000. Neither let us tempt Mashiach, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happened unto them for ensamples, and they were written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore let him think he stand, take heed lest he fall. Make sure you keep yourself humble now. You know what I'm saying? That's what you better do. Because them people were proud. See, them people thought he had done brought them out. It was balling time. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 18. That nigga was 64. Three and 16. So you know what the penalty was for those who he gave that bread and that water to in the wilderness? You know what happened to them? He swore in his wrath that they would never enter into his kingdom. That man swore in his name, "You not coming in here." For some, when they had heard, did provoke. Howbeit, not all that came out of Mizraim by Moses. But with whom was he grieved 40 years? Was it not with them that had sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness? And to whom swear he that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believe not? So we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief. Unbelief, pride is just the root of unbelief. Anyone who got a humble heart gonna believe the word. And they're gonna conform themselves to it. Come back to 1 Corinthians 11. We ain't forgot about it. We in verse 22. That's where we stop. So now you see, now when we talking about bread and water and him pouring coals of fire on his enemies, that was for those in the house. Not just those that said crucify him. That came to, did he not say he gave the bread to prove you to whether you walk in his law or not? That man done laid bread down for Shamaim in the body and personage of Yahushua HaMashiach to prove every man whether they going to walk in his word or not. What, have ye not houses to eat and drink in? Or do you despise the house of Elohim, and shame them that have not? What shall I say to you? Shall I praise you in this? I praise you not. For I have received of the master that which I delivered unto you, that the master Yahushua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, Take, eat, this is my body which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. How y'all think Paul knew about that? Because Paul wasn't there. There's only two ways he could have known that. He didn't read it because it wasn't written down.
Who gave it to him? Had to.
Or the apostles told him. The men who was actually sitting there eating with him told him. Sworn to, that's the only way he could have got it. Remember what he told him now in Isaiah 43, which was confirmed in Acts chapter 2, and Peter further confirmed in Acts chapter 10. We are his witnesses. I was there. I seen it. You know what I'm saying? Peter said, what you mean? When he broke the bread and passed it, I was sitting right next to him. When he sipped the cup and passed it, I was sitting right next to him. You know what I'm talking about? That's the only two ways he could have known. Now, you could speak your opinion. 9 times out of 10, probably the apostle probably told him. Who knows? The master could have revealed it to him too. When he revealed himself to him plainly, like, hey, on this night, this is what I told him. And after this manner also he took the cup, and when he had supped, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the master's death till he come. So guess what they were doing in the wilderness the whole time? They were showing the death of that lamb. Which means they were showing the death of the master before he even came, in the flesh, literally. Mm-hmm. This is why he was able to kill him. This is why he was able, even after giving them that ordinance on what to do with that, because that ordinance is not in Leviticus 23 for them to do that. You know what I'm saying? It shows that when he actually was taking them through the wilderness and he gave them the bread to eat and he gave them the water to drink, that I'm heaping coals of fire on your head because you are my enemy. Why do you think he said he gave him the bread to prove him? So I need to see who with me and who ain't. And who wasn't with him, what did he do with him? He killed him.
Earth opened up.
Not only that,
otherwise
serpents, all that played. They went to crying for them quails. Oh, so you know what the quail representative are? You want a strange flesh. You want a strange. You didn't. My doctrine wasn't good enough for you. My flesh wasn't good enough
You
for
need
you.
something else.
You wanted something else.
Not
So-
being content.
Take that, nigga. Pride. That's all that is. This day is supposed to actually to be a memorial for you to remember to remove pride from yourself. That's why I was telling y'all that on trumpets, man. You have to start looking at these feast days as more than just an appointed time. Actually sit back and look at the plan of salvation and what you're actually supposed to be doing and what is it reminding you of when you do it. You know what I'm saying? You look at Passover, you remember Passover is about to maintain that I remain out of bondage. You know what I'm saying? That's all that's about. You look at Pentecost and saying that I am laboring that I might be a part of the first fruits of them that sleep. That when he come back here, that I'm among those that he pick up first on the first resurrection, whether I be awake or whether I be asleep. You look at trumpets and saying that I am prepared when the alarm blows. And all the things that go along with it, some of the things we discussed. Then you look at atonement and looking at it as this is a day for me to remember to stay humble and to keep pride far from me. And you look at tabernacles as I'm yearning to be clothed with my body from on high. Not just I'm in a tent. Not just we eating food. But I seek to be clothed with my booth or my tabernacle from on high. When you sit back and you look at these feast days and you relate them to your salvation. Even when you look at Purim, Purim is about what? Casting lots. And that the people were spared. And because we were spared, he gave gifts. And Yahushua is that gift. And then he turned around and gave gifts. And he's representative of Purim just in that alone. You know what I'm talking about? And then you remember that. When you remember that and you take the plan of salvation and then you'll do what? You'll make the move to be a part of that. Watch that cord. Because you pull it out, it's going to come out. And then we're going to have to start over. Just meaning the video start over. No, I'm not starting over.
I was like, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But if you understand what I'm talking about, then again, that's why if somebody's telling you you don't have to fast today, then they're completely removing what you're actually supposed to be learning from this.
You can keep your pride.
You can keep your pride.
It's
You
a
can
choice.
keep it. It's a choice.
Yeah.
Be proud
it is
or
a
be
choice.
humble. And it is. But that's a dangerous
It's
thing
choice.
to present in front of people.
Why would you not want to?
Because you have Hebrews that say that that
Accommodation.
doesn't mean to fast. And that you don't necessarily have to not eat or drink.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, why would you not want to afflict your flesh? Like, why would you not?
Because I'm proud. I'm hungry. Shoot, nigga, I like Gatorade and juice, you know what I'm saying?
Which has 32 grams of sugar in a very small amount.
You know what I'm saying? I like that, you know? I like sugar water, I like Kool-Aid.
Well, but like you said, if you're going to do that, you might as well go ahead and go all out.
Go all out, because you have no reward. That man say, whoever don't afflict his soul, he shall be cut off from his people.
That's very cut and dry.
That means you're going to be cut off from the body of Mashiach.
That's crazy, boy.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got brood that feel like I ain't keeping the feast for whatever reason. And you going to hell. It only take one time to buck a feast. I'm talking about consciously knowing that I ain't going to do it. It was funny because there was a couple people saying, hey, okay, we missed the Passover. We want a second Passover coming. I said, all right, I'm going to handle that for you. You can do that there. They like, yeah, we going to do it. It never happened. That means that man don't want you to drink it. One day told me like, I ain't cleaned it that day in the third. I'm like, boy, you gonna better take a bath, do something. But you wanna try to make your way to, because you can't sit back and say, I'm gonna miss that. And say, I'll come back and do it next year.
Because you don't know if you're going to make it.
You don't even know you're gonna make it next year, but the end of the point is, if he wants you to be a partaker of it, he will make a way for you to become a partaker of that. So if there was an opportunity for you to do it, and niggas didn't, he didn't want you, I'm good. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? That's how, and that's subtle ways you sit back and look at like, that man might be done with this person.
You want to invite you to the party with it, send you an invitation.
It's little subtle stuff that the average person is not going to look at and pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? But I look at that like, well, there was people who wanted to take a second Passover in time past for, and he made a way for them to get that. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. We had people come from Georgia and Alabama about that. You know what I'm saying? Boy, it was so serious enough, boy, that Lee thought she wasn't going to have Malia till after Passover, and he held the birth so she could be a partaker in that. You know what I'm saying? That she didn't even have to. She was making preparations for second Passover. He said, you ain't even got to do it. Because it's going to be some people that's going to pop up later that say they're going to want to do it, and I don't want them niggas to be a part of it. Because both of them niggas were like, yo, I got you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I told both, I got you. And it dissipated in the air like smoke. You didn't hear me say I ain't going to do it, or you should. I got you. You say that's what you want, I ain't seen them niggas. Not for that. And it wasn't because lack of effort, because I called both of them niggas. Like, what's happening? What you doing? Oh, no, man.
Oh, I ain't know you reached out.
Yeah, I called a nigga, want to shoot, man, that's work. Nigga ain't answer the phone. And I'm sitting back looking at what you who will for you to do it. I wonder why. Everything that happens because it's either be Yah's will or, like I told you, man, people die because it's Yah's will. You with who you with because it's Yah's will. You not with who you with because it's Yah's will. Because if you were supposed to be with him, you would be. If that person was supposed to be alive, they'd be alive. If you were supposed to work here, you'd be working there. If you were supposed to got that, you would have got it.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? If that was his will for you to go in that particular direction, it would have happened. You know what I'm saying? If it don't happen, that's not what I desire. See, we get confused with what we desire and try to make what we desire what he desire. No, nigga, that's you. That's all you right there. You know what I'm saying? Saul tried to make what he did is that's what y'all told. No, nigga, that's all you right there. You know, he's the biggest example of an idiot throughout the whole book. Nabal running a close second, even though his story kind of small. I'm for real though.
He's right. You want to give a call? You want to give him a?
No, because you got Uzziah, who's even worse than Ahab. Because this nigga Ahab just was a sucker.
Look at that.
He just was a sucker.
He didn't have no fortitude.
See what I'm saying? He wasn't have done it. He just was he tried to play. He tried to play. No, see, he didn't even know he had a spine. He tried to play dumb to get what he wanted. Difference. That nigga Uzziah went and offered strange incense when he was running in there after his heart had done got lifted up because he won some battles.
No, he can do that.
Running in there, they telling him, man, don't do that. Yes. That don't pertain to you. Nigga, I'm finna handle that. Next thing you know, he leprous. That's pride. That's dumb. There's men in this book that are on par with Saul. It's just Saul had 3 opportunities of very distinct things that Yahuwah told him to do that he didn't do.
Well, Jeroboam prideful because he didn't want him to go back to.
Yeah, a lot of them. It's the list. Every king of Yasharal was prideful. Like we can't even hit them all because there was not a single righteous king in the northern kingdom at all. They didn't have one. They didn't have one. But there's a reason for that. They can't have one because then that line is going to be cut off. The throne go to Judah. So I can't have no righteous line. All you niggas wicked because I got to have a reason for cutting off this line or this throne. You know what I'm saying? And even though most of the kings of Judah were wicked too. Just a few. And they all had one thing in common. Pride. That's what they all had in common. You couldn't tell them nothing. They were going the way that they were going. When they were told to do this, that, then the third, they didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Let me read what verse 27. Wherefore whosoever shall eat this bread and drink of this cup of the master unworthily shall be guilty of the body and the blood of the master. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. He that eat and drink unworthily, eat and drink damnation to himself, not discerning the master's body. If your enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat. And if your enemy be thirsty, give him water to drink. For in doing so, thou heap coals of fire upon his head, and Yahuwah shall reward thee. And what is that coal of fire when we mention that death? That's that second death. When you be tossed in the lake, where the worm dies die, and the fire shall not be quenched. So you sit back and look at, but he said, don't drink of it if you unworthy. Well, it's a lot of people that he got in congregations all across this world. every year that he let them sit there and he let them eat it and he let them drink it because he know that they bringing damnation on themselves because they unworthy, and that makes Proverbs 25 and 21 speak a whole nother level of magnitude. Because you've seen him do that in the wilderness with those who believe not, who are full of pride, and he cut them off. And now you see him doing it again with the blood and the body of his dearly beloved son to cut you off. And that right there should make a man consider. Revelation 20 and 12. We'll cut this point. What time it is? 3:38. I give you a break till 4:20. Then I hit that Luke 14. Because you ain't got nothing to do. So we're going to pull like Paul used to do. And I saw the dead and small and great stand before Elohim. Hold on, before I do that. My apologies. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Elohim. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end of them that obey not the gospel of Elohim? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of Elohim commit the keeping of their souls to him, and well-doing as unto a faithful creator. Hold on. Now look at Job 33. Because if judgment started at the house of Elohim, ain't nobody outside the house eating bread, drinking wine. Was there anybody outside the house getting that bread and water in the wilderness? Was there anybody outside the house getting that bread and wine? I know some niggas might see this hymn like, boy, that nigga stretched that. We don't do no water whip over here called 28 and the 6 if you was wondering. That mean that's straight hardcore drop cocaine, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? When you hit that there, you ever seen, how many of y'all ever seen what that movie is? I ain't gotta forget it. Blow.
With Johnny Depp?
We get some gum.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And remember what he did in Blow? He said, George, I can't feel my face.
It's real.
Yeah. That nigga really did that. That nigga hit that cocaine and he said, George, I can't feel my face.
Pure.
Numb, nigga. Numb. 33 and 14. For Elohim speak once, yea twice, yet man perceive it not. In a dream, and in a vision of the night, when deep sleep fall upon men and slumberings upon the bed, then he opened the ears of man and sealed their instruction, that he might withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. So let's look at something in Ephesians chapter 1. He say he sealed your instruction. So you sit back and look at this also, right? He say in a dream or a vision of the night when deep sleep fall upon a man. When you turn around and look at it, right? He say he give you a dream. Prophets get in vision or a dream, right? But now he say he seal your instruction. In order for you to be sealed in instruction, to get the understanding of the word, you know what got to happen? What did Philip tell the Ethiopian eunuch? Understand what you read, right? What did the eunuch say to Philip? What hindered me to be baptized?
He said nothing.
He said nothing.
Let's do it.
So when you sit back and you look at it, when you go into that water, that's as if you was on your bed. This is also, you can also sit back and you can look at this as dealing with him preaching to the spirits in prison as well. Hold on. What's happening with you, man? Hold on. Chill it. Hold on. I'm just dropping this word on you, boy. I'll let you listen. You realize that that's also talking about preaching to the spirits in prison, right? He said he spake once. Yea, twice man didn't perceive it. I spoke once and you were here. I speak again when you're in the grave. He say in a dream or a vision of the night when deep sleep fall upon men and the slumberings upon the bed. If he preaching to the spirits in prison, they're not slumbering upon their bed. Then he turned around and tell them what? He opened the ears of men and sealed their instruction. What seals the instruction? The Ruach is the seal. So he say he can withdraw man from his purpose. So he can take man from doing what he want to do and hide that pride from man. Now let's look at what I just said. Ephesians 1. So you look at it as if your immersion, as if you land upon your bed. Obviously you done already heard the word before you get that. But he's suiting it. But when you come up out of there, that's when you see most of them, they receive the Ruach, right? Sealing their instruction. Now the word is inside of you. And if the word is inside of you, then there's no condemnation of those that walk in the Ruach, that walk in Yahushua HaMashiach, because he condemns sinful flesh in the flesh. Therefore, pride is removed from man. What did we read last night? Learn of me. I'm meek and lowly in heart.